This is Dianne Waldron from Meals on Wheels. She brought her little red wagon and individually wrapped chocolate chip cookies with her. That's a very interesting little gift pack you have there.
And snickerdoodles made by our baker.
Oh, very nice.
Jamie, yes.
Jamie the baker.
She's wonderful.
Yeah, I'd say, because you brought some inventory with you.
I want to thank you for having us here today. Meals on Wheels, Berkeley County, West Virginia.
It's wonderful to have you here.
Thank you. I wanted to mention that Matt sitting here, his dad, Ray Seitler, is one of our drivers. We have over 100 drivers. Without them, we wouldn't have a program. So they are very special to us.
What is that, the capacity 100, or you
no,
still
we
need
can
more?
still. Our need for drivers is ongoing because folks, they are snowbirds. They go to Florida in the winter and leave us and then come back, or they have lives of their own. They have doctor appointments or whatever. So we're ongoing in need of drivers, and it's just a once-a-month commitment for 3 hours. So it's not a lot of time out of your month.
Is there ever a day when you don't have enough drivers to get the meals out?
Never. We would not let that happen.
Does that mean you would just load up the car and deliver them yourself?
Our mission is to get those meals out, and it's even through COVID, we did not miss a day.
And how many seniors are you getting meals to?
We are delivering 1,000 meals a week, so that's about 250 seniors a day. That's throughout the entire county. Also, we are located in King's Daughters Court, the senior housing, and we deliver to them every day as well, Monday through Friday.
And do you get a little extra on Friday to get them through the weekend? Is that how that works?
Thanks for asking that. Yes, there are about 30% of the folks we deliver to that need meals on the weekend. So our drivers drive Monday through Friday. So on Friday, they'll deliver the hot meal on Friday plus 2 extra meals that they just need to warm up.
And where do you get your funding?
That's a great question. We are a nonprofit. We're autonomous. We're not affiliated with anyone. So I write grants, and we get donations. So that is how we get our funding. We charge a nominal fee for our meals between $2 and $4. However, the meals cost us closer to $7 to get out. So 1,000 meals a week, you can do the math. So donations from individuals, businesses, the Unity campaign, which is coming up next week. That's our biggest fundraiser of the year.
And are the grants state grants, federal, both? What?
There's one grant that's affected by that's a federal government, and that's through the city of Martinsburg. So that's the only federal monies we get.
Is that substantial?
It's not really that substantial. I mean, it's a few $1,000s. I mean, it's we need it, but it's not the bulk of our budget. I wanted to share a story from yesterday. May I do that?
Sure, please.
The meals we deliver, okay, they're nutritious. They're hot. We have a dietitian check the menu once a year, registered dietitian. But what's more important, in my opinion, is the daily visit by the driver. Now, yesterday, and this happens quite often, 70% of the folks we deliver to live alone, so they're by themselves. Yesterday at 10:30, I got a call from one of our recipients, a lady. She had fallen at 5 a.m. and called me at 10:30. She'd fallen out of her bed, so she'd been on the floor for 5 hours. And she called at 10:30 because she knew our driver was coming. She didn't have her wits about her to call 911 or a family. She didn't have she just knew our driver was coming, okay? So bottom line is I convinced her to call 911 because the driver could not get in her house, all right? She had a life alert, so she pushed the life alert. While I was on the phone, she pushed it, and she got help. Our drivers are really a lifeline to a lot of these folks that live alone. We sent out a survey. Every year we send out a survey in January to all of our active clients. And in front of you are the results of the survey. And I just wanted to read to you. This is in their own words. I mean, as far as this is the information the statistics we collected from the survey. 81% of the respondents stated that our services keep them from going hungry. And 71% stated that the Meals on Wheels made them feel safer in their homes. So that's why I said what I said about that driver. the Ray Seitlers of the world that stop and check on them. And what's so beautiful about our program is when a driver gets to a house and there's an issue, they call our office, myself or my colleagues, Drenna and Maddie, and basically we have emergency contact information on everyone. So yesterday I was able to call that lady's son and a neighbor, which is amazing. So there's peace of mind there.
It's a marvelous story.
It's a true story, and it happens a lot. The other thing that I find kind of humorous at the very bottom of the survey are our meals usually or always taste good, 99%. So somebody doesn't like broccoli, you know.
Put a little cheese on it. You can take anything. with cheese.
Exactly. So I mean, it's an amazing mission. We all have our hearts in it. We have about 140 volunteers, of which about 100 are drivers. They use their own car, their own gas, and they are very dedicated. Ray's been driving for many years. We have some drivers that have been driving for 30 years, 25 years, 20 years. They really love the people that they deliver to. And if they have to miss a month, they miss seeing the folks because they know who they are.
Sure.
Yeah, you say the requirement is 3.5 hour or 3 hours per month. Do some of the drivers drive more than that?
Absolutely, absolutely. We have a couple of drivers that drive 4 times a month. They're retired. They want to give back to the community, and they certainly are doing that. So absolutely, if you have time on your hands and you want to drive more than once a month, we're happy. We are happy to put you to work.
Keep going through your stats there.
Sure.
Sorry.
So we're pretty proud of these stats. Like I told you, 3 out of 4 of respondents stated they live alone. 90% stated Meals on Wheels allows them to eat healthier foods. Keep in mind, we are working with 5 local farmers in Berkeley County. And even in the dead of winter, we're still getting amazing lettuce from a hydroponic farmer. So we're trying to get fresh foods to them, fresh fruits and vegetables as often as we can. 95% of them stated our meal is the main meal of their day. And I know that for a fact. Sometimes our meals are pretty hearty. There's an entree, whether it's chicken or ham or fish or roast beef or whatever it is, plus a nice hearty healthy vegetable and a starch. That's the hot portion of the meal. And then the cold portion of the meal is a bag, and in it is the dessert. It could be cake, it could be cookies, it could be pie. There's a drink and fruit or a salad. It depends on the menu that day. So it's a lot, and some of them have half of it for lunch and half of it for dinner.
How do you address the dietary restrictions some folks have?
Okay. Because we deliver 1,000 meals a week, we cannot cater like a restaurant. But when I spoke to our dietitian in January, she looked at every one of our menus. We have a 6-week cycle, and there's really no such thing as a dietitian. What am I trying to say? Diabetic meal. If they eat that meal, that's 1/3 of their nutrients for the day. It's a healthy meal. It's up to them to monitor the rest of their day. So if they choose to eat 5 pieces of cake the rest of the day, you know what I'm saying. So that's how we do it. We know it's balanced. And we know it's full of nutrients, vitamins B, C, D, all that.
So all the meals are the same, the one that you distributed, all of them the same?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, they're all the same. They're considered a regular meal.
Sure.
Now, if someone has an allergy, if you called and said, I cannot eat fish, we will absolutely not give you fish. So we do have specialty diets, okay? But go ahead.
I just have to ask about the menu because before I left to come here this morning, my wife said, hey, what do you want for dinner this evening? And I'm going, I have no idea. And you're talking about planning a menu 6 weeks out, and then, during that 6 weeks, you've got to plan the next 6 weeks. So how do you kind of lay out the meals for each and every day?
When we meet with our dietitian, she sits down with our kitchen staff and myself and a board member, and we go over that menu. And it's a 6-week cycle, so it repeats every 6 weeks.
Okay.
But the good news is we're trying to incorporate some new menu items into our plan so that these folks that have been on a few years don't get tired of the same thing all the time. So right now we're looking into doing, well, we have burritos, that type of thing, Taco Tuesday, you know, that kind of mindset. And we're really looking to enhance what we already have. And as soon as the weather breaks, that's when we're really going to be able to incorporate the berries and the strawberries and the blueberries and all that. But in answer to your question, we have an amazing head cook. Her name is Tammy, and she works very hard to make sure that meal is presented well. So it's something you want to eat. She does meatloaf from scratch. 90 pounds of hamburger meat. Try to picture that. She does that from scratch. It's delicious meatloaf. Everyone raves about it. So it's a good menu. We get a lot of great compliments. And let's see, one of the other statistics I wanted to tell you was, well, basically, we get calls from, we got a call from a gentleman that's in his 90s that said, when he gets his meal, he always feels like it's like Cracker Jacks, like he's not sure what the surprise is going to be. So
Something to look forward to.
exactly. So at Christmas, myself and Maddie went to his house, and we brought him. I wrapped. He didn't know it was Cracker Jacks in a real fancy Christmas box with a big bow, right? And we went to his house, and he said, Diane. And it was a week before Christmas. He said, can I wait till Christmas morning to open this? Because it's the only present I'll have. And, you know, you feel like you've impacted somebody. And then he's keeping it up on his shelf just to remember that we were there, you know. So
I see 77% said Meals on Wheels helps keep them in their home.
that's huge. That's huge. They can be independent because they know they have that meal coming. They may have somebody come in for in-home care for other resources, but knowing that they don't have to cook or they can't cook because they're immobile or whatever, that makes them feel like they can stay in their own home. And that's pretty important. If you have any family members that have been through this, they want to be home if they can.
I was struck by the other statistics. 75%. They feel safer in their homes because of Meals on Wheels. Why is that?
Because the driver shows up every day.
I see. Okay.
That driver's, in many cases, is the only person they see in a day. So it marks their day. I mean, imagine.
Yeah. I'm fascinated with this, and I've heard this before, how important the drivers are. But I found surprising that the drivers may only see them once a month. So
Oh, no.
the drivers drive only 3 hours a month, do they not?
But see, we drive every day, Monday through Friday.
I know, but a different driver.
Right.
That's my point.
I see.
So there's a communality between the drivers. So it's not one driver they're looking forward to see. It's a consolidation of drivers.
Thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
They're going to see a different driver every day.
Right. But
You're right.
all the drivers recognize the importance of this personal exchange.
They absolutely do. And the reason, if you were to go out today and get to the house or the apartment or wherever you are, the trailer, and they're waiting by the door, waiting for you. That's who they're going to see that day. And that's all they're going to see that day. Think about that. I mean, that's, the driver doesn't stay for a long time.
And again, I was aware of the importance of the drivers in the relationship. What I was not aware of is we're talking about a collective driver. I thought there was drivers, the same driver every day but that's not the case.
No, because that's asking too much of a driver.
Exactly,
okay,
yes.
and we don't want to do that. We want them to come back and not feel burnt out.
Sure.
So,
But I'm assuming there is maybe a particular routine. In other words, the person receiving the meal may see the same person every Monday, every Tuesday, every Wednesday, every Thursday, every Friday. So there's some continuity there.
Exactly.
But it's just a different person each of those days.
exactly.
Yeah,
So if you signed up to be a driver, you're going to do, let's say, the third Wednesday of every month.
Yes.
So the third Wednesday of every month, you've got the same. Now, it fluctuates as far as who you deliver to, because some folks go in the hospital. We add new people every day. We added 2 new people yesterday. Right now, we have a wait list on one of our routes. Another, when I say route, we separate the region into 7 routes, and like Falling Waters is Route 1. Route 6 is Jaredstown. Route 5 is Hedgesville. So you get the idea.
But you said you go into the hospitals. Did I understand you say?
No, some of their patients go into the hospital.
Okay, but not delivering in the hospital.
No,
okay, fine. I
sorry.
misunderstood. So.
That's okay. That's okay. So basically, what I'm saying is, the Falling Waters route. We have 2 people on hold because there are 30 stops on that route. Okay, and we can't ask the driver to be out, 4 5 hours. Right. They have a lot of stops. So, but usually there's not much of a wait on the wait list because people come and go, and we try to fit them in. So,
now who qualifies for being a recipient for Meals on Wheels?
Great question. You need to live in Berkeley County, West
That's
Virginia.
one, Bill. There's one great question for Bill today.
We have this running tab whenever someone says a great question, and I'm killing Rob. Absolutely killing.
I had one earlier today, though.
You all 3 of you, great questions.
Too late.
But I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dianne.
Too soon, right? Okay, so what was your question?
How do you qualify? How do you qualify for Meals on Wheels?
You need to be homebound. When I say homebound, you don't drive, you can't get to the grocery store, you don't have transportation to buy food, you can't properly cook for yourself. You're not, you safely cook for yourself, and you're homebound. That's it. Homebound, live in Berkeley County. That's the policy.
Food prices have gone much higher over the last 3 years or so. How do you cope with that in regards to making it up budget-wise or reducing expenses?
It's been difficult. We're not raising our prices. We haven't raised, when I say prices, the nominal fee, we're not raising that. We haven't for a decade. And food prices in the last decade. So one thing that helps us is, have you heard of NCTC?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, once a week, my husband and I go out to NCTC, and they donate some food to Meals on Wheels, what's left over that they don't use. And if you know anything about their menu, it's 5-star food. It's amazing food. And we go out, and it's already cooked. It's frozen. So all we have to do is thaw it out and heat it up. And it's amazing. It's roast beef and ham and fish and shrimp and you name it. It's just delicious. So that kind of offsets our budget a little bit. But that's some weeks it's 200 pounds of food. Some weeks it's 55 pounds of food. So it's not something we can schedule. So getting back to the menu, we put subject to change because of donations like that. Right. Okay. Girl Scout troops donate us cookies. For these aren't Girl Scout cookies, but if we need dessert. So people in the community, which is an amazing community, I can't even say enough about it. They just give. They will donate some items like that help us. So we're doing the best we can.
Yes, you are.
And go ahead, Matt.
I was just going to ask, you mentioned earlier 140 volunteers, and about 100 of those are drivers. What are the other roles for volunteers?
We have folks that come in at 7 a.m. in the morning, and we call them packers, and that's the cold portion of the meal. That bag I was talking about with the drink and the dessert and the salad, they pack the cold portion from 7 a.m. to about 9:30. And those are packers. So that's, again, once a month commitment. So if you like to stand in the kitchen and help pack, you wouldn't be by yourself. You would be with other people helping you pack. That's from about 7 to 9:30. Then we need kitchen helpers. And what that is, it could be anything. Washing dishes, cupping up fruit, helping whatever needs to be done. And that's from 7:30 to about 11. Then as far as if you don't want to come in the kitchen, you don't want to drive, but you just want to talk to me about what you can do for Meals on Wheels, please call me at 304-263-6622. There's always opportunities.
You mentioned those times. About what time does the meal go out?
About 10 o'clock, the drivers start showing up. Okay, so the cooks have been in there making the fresh food every day the hot portion of the meal and then the cold portion of the meal. The 10 o'clock, the drivers start showing up, and they're out the door by 10:30. So they start driving throughout the whole county at 10:30, and most of them are done by about 12:30. Depends which route they have. Route 1 takes a little longer because there's 30 people on it. The closer into the city of Martinsburg, of course, would take less time.
My question, I hope, is not frivolize what you're trying to do, which you do a great job, but an integral part of a lot of families are their pets. Do you ever give the pets some food as well?
Can I say great question again?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Please do. Okay.
We do.
Please do.
In fact, you can say it 3 or 4 times.
Rescue Me.
Yeah. Okay.
You know who Rescue Me is? Mm-hmm. They donate cat and dog food to us in manageable Ziploc bags, and our drivers deliver those to the folks.
Outstanding.
Isn't that great?
That really is.
Because we have one lady. This is the true. This is a true story. All she has is her dog.
Yes.
Her dog is why she's alive. She's stated that she lives for her dog. She has no family. We deliver to her every day, and we deliver dog food to her. Now, last week, her dog passed away. And she told the driver, this was last Friday, that she no longer wanted to live, and would the driver pray with her? And the driver prayed with her, and the driver left there and called me at home because she was upset, distraught that this lady was thinking about taking her life. I called her son, and luckily everything's fine now. Her son called her. They might be getting her another dog, but I'm not trying to be dramatic. This is a true story. It just happened. And so what you talked about pets is so true. It's a companion. It's their.
It's family. It's family. True sense of the word.
Di, we are just about out of time. About 20 seconds. Tell people how they can work with you at Meals on Wheels.
Please go to our website at Berkeley County WV Meals on Wheels. Call me at 304-263-6622. We'd love to hear from you. You're going to love working at Meals on Wheels. It's a family.
Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Always appreciate the work you do.